Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 197 of The Rewind, a podcast dedicated to keeping its listeners on the cutting edge of the MMORPG Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. We're creeping closer to that episode 200, Drac, and I know I can speak for us both when I say a huge thank you to all our listeners that have kept us going. All your words of encouragement and well wishes are what keep us going. Thank you again for making us a part of your week. A huge shout out to our friend Bro Quiet Storm for becoming our newest member. Welcome to the crazy, and we hope you stay a while. If you are out there and want to join either our adventuring party or raid team, please follow the link below to our Patreon or click the YouTube membership below and pick a tier that's right for you. Lastly, on to what we had to cut from last week's show ideas. This week we discuss the potential #imminent TM return of sweet Poppa Joppa to streaming, and what those crazy tenants the old people talk about after they climb uphill in the snow both ways, and knowing if you're a filthy exploiter or not. Now, on with the show!
The dense forest loomed ahead as adventurers ventured deeper, the scent of damp earth filling the air. They had been tracking something for hours, but their quarry was proving elusive. Anton Dubiditis, the Darkmere's shaman glyph keeper, furrowed his brow, his staff cracking with subtle energy. "It's close," he whispered. "Something is watching us." Chirodu, the gnome summoner, squinted into the trees. "I've been trying to summon an elemental to help, but it's just too fast. Whatever it is, it's way quicker than anything I've seen." Calorok, the dwarf paladin, hefted his axe and stood firm. "We've got to find it. It won't stay hidden forever." Suddenly a blur of motion dashed between the trees. The creature was a streak of speed, a nightmare of speed and stealth, disappearing behind a thick oak before anyone could strike. "It's toying with us," Ela the halfling rogue growled, readying his daggers. "We need to flush it out." Ziplox, the dark mirror rogue, moved silently nearby a tree, his eyes scanning every shadow. "I'm not waiting for it to show up. I'll be the one to find it." Annoying Llama, the human monk, gritted his teeth, eyes darting between the trees. "This is madness. I can't punch something I can't even see." Screech the Scar Bard struck a chord on his lute, trying to use his magic to enhance the group's awareness. "Maybe if we work together, we can predict its movements." Archbishop, the dwarf paladin, shielded himself, and the others. "Stay close, stay ready. This thing won't get away again." Dwimble, the gnome rogue, crouched low, peering into the underbrush. "It hides behind the trees, but it's moving too fast. We need to get it to make a mistake." The creature, a blur of speed and shadow, struck again, darting past and slamming into Calorok's shield before vanishing behind a tree once more. Anton gripped his staff tighter. "We need to make it slow down, or we'll never land a hit." With a sudden calculated move, Chirodu sent a wave of fire crashing into the area. Hoping to corner the creature, the flames illuminated the shadows, and for the briefest moments the creature's form became visible. "Now!" yelled Ziplox, his blades flashing as he lunged. For a brief chaotic moment, the creature was cornered. It tried to slip away, but the adventurers were faster. Together they struck, hard and fast, finally taking down the elusive monster. Panting and covered in sweat, Calorok wiped his brow. "That was too close, but we did it." "Sometimes you have to work smarter, not harder," Anton said, smiling faintly. The party nodded in agreement, and the forest fell silent once again. But this time, the adventurers knew they had conquered the speed of the shadows.
This week in Visionary Realms News and Notes.
All right, Daimlos, week 2 and blog number 3.
There's another blog that's out? Where are they finding time to do this?
Ever since we here on the Rewind brought up the idea of blogs, VR has been blogging like fiends.
Dude, We didn't even blog this much when we were doing a blog. It's unblog-leavable.
It's unblog-leavable. Well, this week's blog is by Codeman, and he is blogging about the Ashbreather Dungeon. What do you know about the Ashbreather Dungeon, Demos?
Well, something that we are clearly missing a ton of in the world of Terminus, which is undead. Although I do know from Vandrad that none of the skeletons are labeled undead, so they can't use any of their undead stuff, Necro and Paladin stuff, to defeat that. I know that there's a lot of pathing issues in there. I know, well, this is all Vandrad's angry post from a couple weeks ago, so that's about all I know. Any new news?
I mean, it's all kind of in the blog. It's supposed to have a World War I trench type feel to it, according to Codeman. Even though we don't have World War I weapons.
Guns? But we got magic, though.
Yeah, we have magic.
Magic trenches.
Magic trenches? I'm not sure about that. I'm excited. I think that it's going to be good. I'm not upset like Vandrad because I don't think that they meant to put this overworld dungeon in the game. I think it was a mistake. I don't think it was ready to be released. I think that the actual dungeon release is coming up where they're going to actually put the undead mobs and it's going to be kind of like a Hangor type situation, right? Where it's going to be an overland dungeon that you can go in. I think it sounds like it's going to be bigger than the werewolf cave. I think it's going to be more Hangor-like. So I think I'm expecting and hoping for a much bigger content drop with this.
Well, that's good because we need some content pretty desperately.
Yeah.
Pretty desperately.
Definitely. Rumor has it that this is going to be like a mid-30s-ish dungeon, which we're real desperate for, right? There's not a lot of post-30 content at all in the game, especially group content, right?
Yeah, for sure. But that's to be expected, right? Like we need to make sure the game from 1 to 30 is great because that's important. You know, we don't want people going away before then. But now it's time to get a few upper level dungeons in there. I like that idea.
Yeah, Codeman mentioned also that there might be like weapon drops and armor drops that are more stylized for the area, that they might be kind of scorched or burned, and that was kind of the I guess the flavor he was going for.
They're going to finally put some of those rusty weapons in, or you know, those things they were showing off before.
Yeah.
In the art.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows what's actually going to make it in? But it sounds exciting. Glad for a little bit of an update. But there's no promises on when this drops. The roadmap, if you go back to the roadmap, and
here we go again with the roadmap.
If you go to the chevrons in the roadmap, then if you take the PvP drop and you extend that the 8 weeks, which is the maximum, because it said 6 to 8 weeks between chevrons, or at least that's what we're guessing. It just said 6 to 8 weeks.
Thank you for clarifying that we are literally still grasping at straws, guessing at everything about this roadmap. Please, people, if you've not listened to our roadmap episode,
you gotta
go back and listen to that, and then listen to the desperation in our voices when it comes to this roadmap and trying to guess what's coming out when. We have no idea. No one has any dates. No one has anything. It's just words on a piece of paper that do nothing.
Yeah. Anyway.
And chevrons.
Hypothetically, that would be
there we go.
The beginning of June, when classes up to 40 would have their spells and skills and iconic abilities would be in place, which they've been talking about a lot recently. So maybe we're quasi online with that? Maybe?
I mean, there are currently 3 in of the, I don't know, 15 that we read last week. So,
all right. First of all, shout out to everybody that corrected us about the Dire Lord iconic ability. Okay, we are big boys, and we can admit when we're wrong. We didn't know. We had no idea because we don't play Dire Lords. We don't.
Right.
And we don't even really have
group. We don't have one in our alt group. It's Paladin and
Warrior.
Yeah.
Paladin and Warrior.
We've played enough Dire Lord back in the olden days when Dire Lord was literally the only tank. So we're tired of Dire Lord, and sorry to all you Dire Lord people. It's a great class.
We are the Pantheon podcast, and so we should get our crap straight, and we apologize for not knowing.
But it's certainly the description. It was exactly how we thought it. I mean, the description of what they said was not anything what it does. So how else could we take it? We're just literally reading it. We didn't even know it was in. It sounded like a fear to me. And I felt like that was, but it's not. Evidently, they walk into you, and that's great. But sorry, Dire Lords out there, for not being on the cutting edge of your class, because we're just not. We're just not. Remember, we even said like a month ago that when the Dire Lords finally got their upgrade or their jump to 40, like the other two tanks have gotten, that we'd bring someone that's played a Dire Lord on. We know we don't know. And if you're coming to this podcast for the hardcore journalism of whatever, know that Drac and I are not journalists. We are two people that play Pantheon, and we're just having fun.
We love Pantheon. We're having fun.
We want to talk about it with our friends. That's why we bring our guests on.
Yeah.
And fun.
And we know more than most people. Okay.
Right.
We follow the project pretty closely. But
right.
But
to know everything.
Yeah.
As you stated earlier, Drac, I'm going to take the words right out of your fingers.
Take them.
To know everything is just not feasible.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
We're not going to always know everything. So it's fine. Please rip us, though. Like we are always happy to be ripped, but come at it constructive. Don't just tell us that the other hosts were better than us.
Oh, that does not go well.
That doesn't go over well.
That's not going to go well for you.
There's a reason that they left it to us, and it's because they felt like it was in good hands. Did we take the show in a different direction? Yes, but that's the direction we chose because it's Drac and I's show now.
It is.
Get over it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
All right, moving on. I feel like we got way off topic there.
I'm going to cut a bunch of that out.
Ashbreathers Dungeon, excited. I mean, I like the blog, but I don't feel like we got a bunch of information from it.
You know what? This is better than nothing. I will take this blog over no Joppa streams for forever. Because at least we're getting something to talk about. And this is fun. I like talking that there's new zones coming out. Maybe we don't know exactly when it's coming out. And that's fine. I like it being a little secretive. I don't need to be getting told by Joppa every 5 days that something new's coming out or something. I would love to just discover it. How cool is it just to be the first one that discovers that the Ashbreathers is finally in the game and let that slowly roll out to the world? That's just cool. That's how EQ was, right? Like when someone found something for the first time, you told your friends, they told their friends, and finally got to the general public and was on blog posts because that's what we did in the 90s. And it was good.
I mean, it's all good as long as, the next update isn't in October.
As long as it's accurate and the journalism is 100% perfect, then it's good.
Just like us.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. Number 2. Joppa is back, baby. He's back.
We're back, baby.
We're back, baby. Well, maybe not quite yet.
Maybe. We're potentially back, baby.
Quote, Joppa from the official Discord. I plan on returning to streaming at some point. Quote.
All right. Well, I will take it because I think Joppa does a good job streaming. I think maybe he just needs to turn off the chat. What do we think about just turning off the chat altogether and he just streams?
I mean, I've kind of always thought that was a good plan. I think that maybe he should just take pre-assigned questions from the Discord or pre-assigned questions from the forums.
Maybe the AMA?
Or the AMA channel.
Ooh.
The AMH, the newly discovered AMA channel by us.
Mostly Vendini.
Mostly Vendini here on the Pantheon Rewind, which we'll get to. But yeah, take questions from the AMA channel that are pre-screened and he can just answer those questions. I think that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Or just open it up to members. I watch a few streamers that say they just only have member chat and though it's bad for views, it keeps them sane. Because people just coming in and just...
Wait a minute. You want pay to win Joppa chat? That's what you want? You want only the people that are paid to sub to his channel to be able to offer up questions?
Isn't that what we do?
Ouch. Ouch, bro.
Sorry. I just don't want idiots jumping in and just spamming his chat all the time. It's too hard to keep up, and it's too hard for him to keep up. I don't know, something like that. I feel like if you're a member of Joppa's channel, you're at least somewhat invested, and you're not going to just be like, Ashbreathers Dungeon win.
Fair enough. Joppa also mentioned he had a question. He said, someone sum up the top 3 reasons, evidences, arguments that are being touted at large to the Pantheon community and why it has changed its direction and or why the vision is weak, etc.
Oof.
Now, I have taken the time to list
the
out
journalism is at an A+ right now.
The big J journalism, as some might say. Now, before we go there, we're going to take a little sidebar, and that is because Bro Quiet Storm, our newest member, by the way, he mentioned and 2 rewinds ago that there may be a lot of people out there that don't even know what the tenets are. Like, because the tenets are so old and they're so from the beginning, and only us really crusty old people that have been around forever really even remember discussing the tenets, right? So maybe we should take a second for the Pantheon community and just read the tenets. And since you are the newest, sexiest, most amazing reader of the Pantheon Rewind, I will leave that to you.
Okay, well, please feel free to follow below. There's a link to the tenets below.
I will have the tenets listed in the description and a link to them.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's right. That's how good this is.
Oh, so much journalism. All right, let's do this, Drac, one by one. Here we go. There's 20 of them. Are you ready?
I've never been more ready.
I knew it. I could hear it in your voice. Number 1, content is king. Yeah, great. We completely agree. Content has to be king. The problem is, where's the content? Where's the content been? So here's where we're already at number 1, and we're kind of drifting away from Joppa's question. Where's the direction, and why is the direction and vision weak? Because content is king and there is none.
Yeah. And this is one of my 3 actually that I cover.
And you wrote it out. You wrote it out hardcore.
I wrote it out hardcore.
Let's just not waste it. Let's not.
You want to go with it right now?
No. I say sit on it.
All right, sit on it. All right. Yeah. So we'll get to this. We'll get to
that one. Yeah, we'll go into more detail later. And it looks like we're going to go into number 2 later as well. Number 2, classes have distinct identities, which we went ad nauseum last week with these iconic abilities.
Yes, we did.
I wouldn't say this is as bad as where content is king is at.
No, absolutely not.
Probably not even close, honestly. But because everyone has their role. It's just some roles are a little more overpowered. Some roles are lacking. We just need to kind of sum that up and get out of this 6 to 8 week fake pumpkin season thing that you think is real that's not, and get it done. Be done with it and move on, because this should have been in years ago, for fuck's sake. Get the classes done so we can balance. We're going to go into this a little harder when we go into Drax.
More detailed to come.
3. Yeah.
Yep.
Number 3. No single player should be able to do everything on their own. Well, that really applies back.
Preach it, brother.
Yeah.
Preach it.
Just goes right back into distinct identities, right? Like that's the same thing. So having 2 of literally the exact same thing and being number 2 and 3, that just goes to show how important these iconic abilities are, how each player plays within the group, what strengths they bring in, how they're best utilized.
Should feel like in different situations that they're super wanted.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. A paladin should be able to go to any undead place and be like, paladin looking for group in undead place, and boom, they get instantly gobbled up because they're the best at undead, right? Same thing with each class. Each class should have something like that where they're the best at something or some area and they can go there and do it. But still also go to other places and be fine. A paladin should be able to, or a necro for that matter, should be able to go into Manor or Seville Manor or whatever, this Ashbreathers dungeon where there's new undead, and just absolutely dominate and be wanted in every group. Number 4, game economies should delay and minimize item value deflation.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't write anything on this one because, first of all, I feel like every time I would think about it, it would sound like a cheap shot because honestly, the economy's not good right now. Like, it's just not.
Well, and we haven't had time to work on it either. Yeah, they're putting out these new
TLP servers.
No.
Fresh start.
They're putting out those new fresh start servers.
Totally not a TLP.
Yeah, totally not at all a TLP. But putting out the fresh start servers and watching the economy there and see how it goes with what's in play right now. I like that they're at least taking this tenet and monitoring it pretty heavily. So this is a good thing.
Not all of this is their fault, right?
Correct.
It's not great, but not all of it is their fault. Some of this is testing to see what was going to happen, and a bunch of people duped a bunch of stuff, and that's created massive problems with the economy.
And that's always going to be the case.
Yeah.
We've seen in the EQ TLPs, we're about to see it again. Hopefully they fix some of those bugs in those TLPs, but in the same fashion, hopefully they've figured out these bug backdoors that people are duping stuff in, dying and copying their equipment and crazy stuff like that. So hopefully that's all under control by the time we hit 1.0, or honestly a year before that, because how are we going to establish what a good economy is if we're just duping stuff, duping plat, duping items? You're ruining the game for us, people. Stop doing it. Stop exploiting. Okay, we got to move on because there's 20 of these and we're at 5. Number 5, combat is immersive with engaging group mechanics. Okay, we tried to do this, and then we broke it. The heroic opportunity action wheel.
Yes, heroic opportunity.
This was great. I loved doing well, I didn't do it because I was busy tanking, but all you other folk that are in the group could expose, I don't know, what was the wizard one called?
I could open the gap. That's what I could do.
Yeah.
You could expose things or you could open the gap. And there was another one that
there's like a monk one and a rogue one that we never use because we don't have a monk or a rogue in there. And so like this is good on top of your spell mechanics, right? This is not even what we're talking about. Those are your individual mechanics. We're talking about engaging in group mechanics. And I felt like we had a solid start to this with what we had. It's broken now. We've moved away from it. I don't know if they're going to keep it or come back. I hope they keep it, but they do need to keep it the way it was. It can't just be everything does everything, because that's not engaging. You need to kick it over to the rogue and kick it back to the cleric. It needs to be very similar to that heroic wheel without being an exact copy of EQ2, right? And people didn't necessarily like that or found it too hard, but it needs to be a way to keep everyone in the group engaged, because if Drac is literally just pushing one button over and over and over again, that's not engaging. That's boring. And so, yeah.
The wizard changes have they've not been good. I used to have to keep track of the different pies, and I used to have to, okay, I'm going to drain one pie, then I'm going to drain the other pie, and then I'm going to drain the third pie, then I'm going to refill them all back up, then I'm going to cast all my spells again, but if I leave them full, then it regens faster, and there's all this just like, I mean, it wasn't huge, it wasn't majorly brain taxing, because I don't know that I could play a majorly brain taxing system, but it was something, right? It was kind of engaging. I had to actually follow along and keep track of stuff. Otherwise, I'd be stuck with no pies and no mana regen, and that was the worst place to be. And now there's none of that. I click on my fire stance like I'm a warrior or something, and I cast the fireball spell, and I never have to worry about pies because it regens so fast. And so I just cast the fireball, and then occasionally, because it's fun, I cast the ultimate or my iconic ability for less damage, and I cast my mage finisher. So I have literally 3 spells. That's about it.
That's
It's not great.
super boring.
Maybe, classes ebb and flow, right? So
Sure.
maybe
We're not
maybe
done.
it's
We're not
just
at 1.0.
Wizard.
It should be fine.
Yeah.
It should be fine. Let's put the next 2 together because they're very similar. Number 6, a truly challenging game is truly rewarding. And number 7, greater risk earns greater rewards. I couldn't agree with this more. Hashtag keep Pantheon hard, right? Like that's old people have been touting that for years and years as we have kind of watered down the combat a little bit of this game. Even though I was frustrated when Halnir came out and those Ravagers killed me by stunning the tank and then ravaging it, and there's nothing you could do other than someone else seeing it and interrupt. That's part of the game. We need to realize that, figure it out, and know that it's a problem and come up with a solution. And there are multiple classes that have interrupts and can have that solution. So it's not like it's impossible to get around. It's just hard. It was very punishing. Maybe it shouldn't have like instant killed me even if I was at full health. Also with a hot on, it probably shouldn't have completely wrecked me, but it should certainly put us in danger because I want it to be risky. I want everything we do in this game to potentially kill us. That's where we jumped into a little bit of Embers Adrift this week. And that's what I love about Embers Adrift. It can always get out of hand. It's never a moment where everything is fine. Even when you're killing gray mobs, they can still kill you. And I like that about Embers Adrift. And so I hope the Pantheon still continues to tout a challenging game.
Yeah, my only problem with this is I feel like the game is challenging. I feel like the dungeons can be challenging. I feel like the dungeons can get away from you, especially if they fix the mobs running.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you that may not know, before EA, before it's been a while, but mobs used to run in a straight line, not just against walls.
Yeah.
Right? And so you get mobs running in dungeons and it goes from bad to worse real quick. If they get that fixed back in there, the Goblin Cave and Halners, it's going to be a whole new experience for some people. Because if you don't have control of your runners, it's going to be real bad for you. My main problem with these 2 Tenets is that they've watered it down with so much solo content. Between the snakes in AVP and the orcs in AVP, the solo-friendly orcs, why group? There's no reason to group.
It almost is better experience that way. And that's not acceptable. Even if it's 2 people, like make those mobs right for 2 people. One person should not be able to take those things down. You should at least, at minimum, have someone doing damage and someone healing. It can't just be one rogue sitting there soloing. Like that's not acceptable for any mob.
Yeah, it's not good. And I don't like it. For me, and maybe this was me and maybe I just read it into the Pantheon Tenets, but for me, the way that when VR used to talk about it was that this is a group-centered game. And we develop for the group. And if some certain classes can solo, then that's fine. We're going to let them solo and that'll be okay. But the game is developed for the group. And then after that, we let the chips fall there where they may. If player creativity and player ingenuity allow for soloing, then great. But we're not designing solo content. And it's gotten away from that.
Oh, big time. Big time. But, I do understand that there are solo players out there and people want to solo this game. So there should be a very painful line for them to go and have it take 14 years to get to max level. That's perfectly fine. That can be in the game. You just do yourself a favor and get in a group. It should just take so gruelingly forever to get to that point where if you're just soloing the whole time, you'll never get good XP. It should always be so unbelievably terrible that you feel like you have to force to group to get anywhere in the game.
Yeah. And I know we're not allowed to compare Embers to Pantheon because that's the evil sin. Yes. But Embers feels that way. It feels good. It's on the good end of the stick, right? And that's, I think, what we really like about Embers is, dude, we were doing 3 people in a dungeon, and we were getting pretty good experience. But man, we added another person. We just added one person to our group, and by his own admission, he was a new player that didn't know what he was doing. And we still, all of a sudden, we're crushing this content. And he was lower level than us. Just adding one more person to our group made everything go better. And it does not feel that way necessarily all the time in Pantheon.
All right, well, moving on. Number 8, player involvement is required for progression. We just kind of talked about that. Everyone's got to get on board. You got to get in a group. It's a group game. Why are you trying to solo this? You're never going to see the best content on your own. Why even play if your whole plan is to solo and not see 85% of the game? I don't understand. Why are so many solo players piping up and saying, we need solo content, we need solo content? Because you're only going to see 15% of the game. Where's the fun in that? Go play Baldur's Gate 3, where you can see all the content. MMOs just are not. Be social. This is where you can help work out some of those social anxieties that people have. I have social anxiety. It's not easy getting on and performing. I've had to learn that. I went to college to be a performer. It's a learned skill. Not everyone is a social butterfly. I really hate people for the most part. To be a pleasant human being, I've had to learn how to do that. It just takes time. It takes work. Don't give up on it. Be wanting to meet people. People want to meet you. It's great. Join a community that's nice. We've got a community right here that's nice. Drac and I are not always available. We've got people who we like to play with, but there are other people in the community that are open and nice and have time, and we don't. So please, but you can talk to us. We're not like these crazy podcaster people. We will talk to you. Just do your best. I get it. I'm total introvert myself. And here I am on this podcast and on a stream, and it's just kind of stepping out of your shell. It's fine. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit. It's good for you. It makes you a better person. And we want you to be the best person you can be. And so join us. Join the community. There's a ton of shitty people out there. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I dislike people, and there's a ton of shitty people out there, but you got to put yourself out there if you're going to get anything good out of the deal.
I don't really have anything to add to this. I feel like you crushed it.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, moving on. Number 9. All actions, or lack thereof, have consequences. And let's put it number 10. Positive actions should be rewarded.
They've talked a lot about this. And remember back when they were like, their system, and there's going to be, and they showed us the pictures of all the quest chains with all the paths, right? And the decision paths. And it was like this big choose your own adventure. And if you said no to this thing, then that puts you down this path. And if you were a certain race or class, that could affect your quest line, and all these different check boxes. And if you had all the check boxes, then you could line yourself up and you could do this quest or whatever. And there were going to be so many quests. And you would just have to experiment with different races, classes, different ways you answer the questions, different ways that you interact with the world, different factions that you build up or tear down. And it was just this thing where you just go out and experiment and see what you could do with different levels of engagement in the world. And none of that is in the game. None of it. Yep. It's not in there. It's not to be found. It doesn't exist yet. Now, maybe it's still coming, but
I hope so.
It's not there.
It's like one of the main bases why this game exists, or why people are interested in this game. It's got to be in there. And if they just leave this out, it's just another MMO. Yeah. This is a huge selling point, and it's just taken the biggest back burner of all time. And it's sad. We need to get that pulse system online. This is one of the reasons Theric wants to play the game. And where's he at now? He's gone. He's doing a board game.
He's making that RPG lore board game.
we got to get this pulse system in. And we probably should have put in number 11 here too, because it's kind of on the same wavelength. Number 11, apathy or lack of action should not be rewarded with bonuses. This is great too. Go out and discover. Go out and discover people. Go out and discover stuff in the game. It's all the same. You need to go out and discover and enjoy and immerse yourself in all aspects of the game. PvE, people, communities, the towns, the mobs, just go out, get out and enjoy it. That's the whole point of the game. And like I said, most of this is just, especially with this pull system, I'm just so sad that there's nothing to it. And it's a huge part of the game, or at least what should be a huge backbone of the game. It's like we're missing our middle vertebrae, right? Like we've got the top ones that hold the brain, and we've got the bottom ones that walk the legs, but we're missing the thing stuff that puts it together. It's so weird. It's
so
just a weird place to be.
You know,
now.
There is one place I just thought about it. There's one place where faction can be used to your advantage, and that's the orc over by the hill in AVP, because he's on an anti-Hangor faction, right? So if you kill that orc, if you become more friendly with Hangor up to a point where the orcs of Hangor will not attack you. And so you can go around and collect gathering nodes in Hangor somewhat safely. The wolves and the spiders and the rest of the stuff will still attack you, but the orcs themselves, they won't hurt you because you've killed the orc at the bottom of the hill.
The one orc?
The one orc. Yeah, you have to kill it for like 2 or 3 hours or something stupid like that. Yeah.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Next.
Number 12. Meaningful character progression increases player power and prestige.
Oh, this is brutal. Brutal.
We have... Joppa, if you really need to know what are the top 3 things, don't even talk to people. Just look at these top 20 things that you wrote out 10 years ago, or you were a part of helping write out 10 years ago. This is it. If you want to know why Pantheon has lost its vision, here it is right here. We're only halfway through it.
I wouldn't say why Pantheon has lost its vision. Why some people in the community and those outside of those that follow the game think that you have lost the vision or doubt that you have kept the vision, right?
Yep. This is it right here.
This is it.
Yeah.
And because I looked last night, buffed with the stat food, all of my best stuff. I have 42 intelligence. I started with like 8, I think. It's 8 or 9. I don't feel more powerful than I was when I was without gear. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that should not be the case.
And where's our prestige?
Yeah, there's no prestige. I have the same brown robe I had at level 1.
Yeah.
I have a hood. That's all I have.
We killed the Matreon of the Drakes. You'd think we'd have some prestigious gear, and we don't. My shield is pretty prestigious. Like, I don't see anyone with that shield all the time, so I feel pretty good about that. But other than that, like, there's just not a whole lot, and
that's real few and far between, especially for casters. We get the absolute suck.
Yep. All right, let's move on because we're gonna get real butthurt about this. Number 13, ensure players have time to form important social bonds. This is like one of my absolute favorite things. When I first broke into this game, I had a hot take about T1 and T2 in Karana at EQ. I used to love that we would just sit in Karana when it was rainy and dark. No one could see anything. No one could see where they were going. There would just be people randomly in those towers because that was a safe spot because it was around guards. And you just sit there and wait out the rainstorm. And that was normal. People were more fine with just sitting out a rainstorm because they'd get lost and die and lose their body. It's just so much easier to just wait out the rainstorm. And we had time to sit there and get to know each other and talk about how crazy this game is, how much fun we're having, and meet random people. It was great forming social bonds. Now, Discord's kind of taken this all away from us, and that's where it's at. So this one, a little harder to do in game because we just do it outside of game because it's so much easier through Discord.
I mean, I feel like Pantheon overall does a pretty good job here. I don't feel like we're mowing through mobs all the time. There's some break. Sometimes we sit and rest. We're able to stream and talk and, talk about tons of stuff. And I don't feel like, I'm the worst Pantheon player ever. I might be, but I don't feel like it. I feel like they do a good job in giving us a little bit of combat breaks, right?
Yep. It could be a little better, maybe, but we do get breaks in between most kills. So that's good. The better players can continue it going for a while, but for the most part, there's always at some point we need to take a break and buff and all that stuff. So it's good. Moving on, number 14. An immersive world requires intelligent inhabitants.
I'm not wow. I'm not sure what that means.
Throw a 14 right out because there's not any. I shouldn't say any, but that's few and far between. So that's and including myself, I am not intelligent inhabitant of Pantheon. So yeah, just get that right out. That will never exist in any game ever. Just ask Baron's chat.
Ouch. All right, moving on.
Number 15. Faction and alignment is an integral part of interacting with the world and its citizens. Especially that one orc.
Yeah, that one orc. Also,
He's crushing it.
Way back in the day, way back, ogres would get killed and thrown fast.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. And we had this evil starting city, right? Why is it that now that we have the evil starting town, the evil races can go into Avelia?
Because there's not enough content.
Yeah.
If we took 2/3 of all the content away from the evil races, there'd be nowhere to go.
But isn't that part of what should be happening right now? Like, that's number one. Content is king.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we have whole different slates of quests and things to do, even if it's in the same dumb area, right? Even if we're killing skeletons and we're going to the goblin cave and whatever, we're doing the same dumb content that we've already done. If you give me different quests for an evil line, then it feels different and it feels new. We have to go do different things. Maybe we go to different parts of the cave. And this isn't rocket science, right? This isn't like we have to create and mold new art. We're just putting in a quest for a guy that says, go kill 10, shaman rock eaters, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Nope. That's
something.
How did we have Freeport and Neriac so close to each other and it worked out just fine? You just have to have another zone for it. You have a newbie zone of evil, and then you've got a zone in between the two, the good and the evil, that works out. It's fine. These are fine. You just have to make it. You just have to make game. We're missing that. We're missing the content. We're missing that number one.
Number one is key.
Number 16. Focus on cooperative play that will attract those seeking a challenge.
Yeah, this is another one that I'm going to dive deep into for my official response to Joppa. So
okay. We'll move on past that because we're going long. We're going long again, Drac.
Some edits are coming. Some stuff's going to hit the floor.
We'll see. This is all good stuff. Number 17. The greatest sense of accomplishment comes when it's shared and earned. 100%. This is why we love DQ.
I feel like this is 16 just written more enthusiastically, though.
Yeah, fair. That's a solid point. So let's keep that and move on.
Yeah.
But this is, you got to have it. I love accomplishment. You feel great. It's so good. Anyway, moving on. We'll talk about it more in just a little bit. Number 18.
Wait, I want to say one thing. You know, the greatest sense of accomplishment that I've really felt that we've done in Pantheon is when we did that dumb glyph quest.
Yeah.
Even if it was completely broken, it was so broken that Sab was down in the room with the mob that you had to kill, giving away, what was it, feathers or something, whatever it was.
The quill.
The quill, yeah, it was the quill. There's giving away quills because it was so broken. And then there was literally, you couldn't get into the cave by just walking into it. You had to climb up a wall and kind of glitch past it, right? Yeah. But even after all that, it still felt really good.
We did it.
When we did it.
We overcame adversity.
We did.
And accomplished something together as a team. It was
as a team. And it felt real good. It felt real good. And I was like, oh, this is what I want. This is the juice, man. This is worth the squeeze.
And we got to go into Hangor because we had our glyphs and we fought, and it was great.
And where is all that now? It's not even the thing anymore. Like, it's not.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Oof, rough. All right, continue.
Number 18. Player levels should be both meaningful and memorable.
I mean, kinda. The leveling, especially as you level up, it takes a lot longer. The problem with it being meaningful and memorable is back to number one. It can't be meaningful and memorable because we're stuck at the same dumb places.
And we don't have our kits complete.
It's not memorable because in EQ, I could go to the goblins, I could go to Unrest, I could go to wherever, right? And I'm traveling around, I'm hitting all these different zones, so it's memorable because I'm like, hey, I remember when I did this zone, and hey, I remember when I did that zone, and hey, this is what I did, and then you tell me about a different path that you took, and it's like, oh, well, that's there's all this different stuff, but there is no alternate leveling path.
Nope.
So you got Wilds in or you got Thrown Fast, and really you mostly just got Thrown Fast.
And then you somewhat meet in the middle.
And you meet in the middle.
All right. Well, number 19. Player versus environment should involve more than NPCs.
I mean, I feel like they get an A+ on this. I think the glyph system is real good.
Yep.
I really like it. I think there should be more of it. I don't know why they took it out of Halnir's.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But acclamation in general is such a great
it's so good
way to go about that.
We just need more. We need lots more.
We need all 6 of them.
We need all 6
Put
of
all
them.
6 in.
Yeah. What happened to Silent Plains and Eastern Wastes? Like where's the acclamation in those zones?
Or more continents. I don't know.
Whatever. Yikes. Something.
That's good. That's a good one. Last but not least, number 20. Engage the world.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I mean, it sums them all up, right? Like,
sure.
Literally, all of these
make worlds, not games. Is that the Brad cry at the end?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's good.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's fine.
That's the Brad seal of approval on all these, but it all goes back to him. Like, you could literally take each one of these individually, and it's just all about engaging the world. It's a no-brainer. It's what makes a good game. It's what made EQ super good. We just all did it together rather than by ourselves.
All right. So we've gone through all 20 tenets. Now, let's get back to Joppa's original question. And first, I want to preface this by saying, first of all, we love you, Joppa. This isn't a hack on Pantheon. This isn't a hack on you. And, we're in your corner. We're rooting for you guys. Everything that we say on this show, every criticism that we have, we strive to keep it constructive, right? And so
if it's not,
and
last week was maybe a little less than constructive, so sorry about that.
But you have asked the question, and I would like to give my answer. So here's the question to read again. Someone sum up the top 3 reasons, evidences, arguments that are being touted at large to say Pantheon has changed its direction or that the vision is weak, etc. Number 1, focus on cooperative gameplay. This is straight. There's a lot of focus on single user gameplay and how that should be created and where it should be created for. This was not in the vision. This was not in the tenets. It's not there. We just read every single one of them. It's not there.
Yep.
But now all of a sudden, that's a big focus. And I think that's straying from the vision. Where are the raids? Where are the bosses with mechanics? Remember when we used to have bosses that were going to shut the doors and you were going to have mechanics and special, you were going to have to do, it was going to be super hard mechanics and there were going to be boss phases and all this stuff. Remember when Minus and Theric went down into the dungeon and fought the one guy and you had to hide behind pillars and stuff?
Yep.
Where is that stuff? That is group cooperative gameplay. And none of it is here. And dungeons are hard right now, but it's because mobs have endless mana and they instant cast.
And don't stop.
Yeah. And so that makes them hard, but that's not how I want my dungeons to be difficult. I want them difficult because the mobs in the dungeons do tricky things and I have to react to those tricky things and engage with different mobs in different ways. And that's just not the case right now. And so that's
preach on, brother. Preach.
Yeah, that's number 1 for me. I just think that, not that it's completely strayed, but I think that the vision has strayed from the laser focus that it needs to be on cooperative gameplay.
Top-notch journalism, Drac. I'm loving this.
Big J. Now, number 2, classes have distinct identities. And along with classes having identities, I'm bringing this word back. Remember quaternity? Do we remember Quaternity?
Of course I do.
Yeah, this used to be a huge battle cry for Pantheon. We are tanks, we are healers, we are DPS, and we are crowd control / support. Where is that? We're bleeding into everything, right?
Yeah.
Every class has a secondary skill. Everybody can kind of do everything, and the combat mechanics. I like the advanced combat techniques or whatever we're calling them now. I like them, but then that allows a group without a shaman to slow a mob. So that means that you're now taking something that is the identity of a shaman, and you are allowing a group without a shaman to have that. And that nullifies the class identity of a shaman. And so it's muddled. And I don't want it to be muddled. And really, the enchanter / support class has really just gotten the shaft and the short end of the stick out of this whole thing. Really, we're still Trinity. We're still just tanks, healers, and DPS. And sometimes we bring along an enchanter because we like them, or they're Gulo and they're just amazing in MMOs. And doesn't matter what he does, he's going to be amazing at it. But like the Necro class seems like it's either an overperforming DPS class or it's just meh. And so because we haven't landed on crowd control or support yet, and we haven't integrated that into the game, and it really feels messy there. And class identity feels messy because there's too much stuff, there's too much flexibility in the classes, and they mesh over each other too much.
Love this. Love everything about this. I was crushing it before. You are crushing it now, my friend. This is good stuff.
Number 3, which is number 1. I saved this for last because it's the most important. Content is king. You guys know content is king. It's your number 1. It's what you've always said, is that content is king. Where is the content? Where's the content? We just don't have it. We've been told for years that they've been developing the most amazing tools. You know, the joke on the podcast is
Huge.
Big Joppa tools, huge Joppa tools. We were told that Joppa could bring up zones in weeks, not months, not years, right? And they could bring up land masses and they could put stuff in there, and it was going to be fast and it was going to be furious, and it's just not the case. It's not happening. And you can talk about all the content that you want to create, and you can give us blogs about how you're developing content, but we're not seeing the content. And that becomes a real problem, because to pull this off, to pull Pantheon off, you have to be able to create content faster than what we're currently doing. And that's a real problem. And I don't know if it's Unity 6. I don't know if it's just lack of programmers. I don't know if it's just whatever system they're using, it's just taking them longer than they thought they would, but it's just not happening on a timely basis. Just content is so slow, and it's really just killing the game. And this by far is the biggest problem with Pantheon right now. More than straying from the vision, it's killing the game because there's not enough content. People have burned through everything for EA. New people, brand new people that have never played Pantheon before, started in January, are burned through all the content and they're done. And they may not come back because there wasn't even close to enough content for them to go through.
And if you're trying to keep it from us because you want to keep a secret, keep it safe, that's fine. But that just means on you that you have to double your output. Keep bringing content to us that we can see and developing content that we can't see.
Or you can't have released it into early access because you charged people $40 and you said this is a game you can play.
And we still know that there's content that we have seen that is still not being released, like Black Rose Keep.
Oh my
Where
goodness.
is this?
Black Rose Keep, Civil Manor, the catacombs under Thronefast. Do you remember that? You remember the catacombs? How about they talked about the undead under the catacombs of Thronefast?
And we've not seen that necessarily, right? Like no one's streamed that.
But what we have seen is the little they look like little Mario tubes, right? With the little plumbing tubes on the side of Thronefast. That you're those where Joppa has said, hey, this is an entrance to the Thronefast sewers catacombs, that there's going to be a bunch of undead down there.
Let's get that shit in.
We have to be able to get content out the door. Content is king. It's your number one Tenet.
We're not even done with zones that we've already started. AVP's still not done. There's still places we can't go in there. Throne Fast isn't done. There's still places we can't go in there.
Yeah, they're still blocking us from crossing into AVP from Throne Fast.
It's so unbelievable. Come on, guys. Let's get this stuff out. You've hired new developers. We read that Savania said that there are teams that are not doing things that are a priority. Why? Why are teams not all working on priority when the priority is getting content out? This is where it kills me because not all the people on the team can make game. This is something I've been yelling at this entire podcast. For as long as we've been doing this podcast, I have been yelling at, if you can't make game, get off the team. So where are the people that make the game? It can't just be Kyle. It can't just be Joppa. Make game.
I don't know. All right. Do we feel better? Have we answered Joppa's question?
Someone get Redbeard Flynn. We need him again.
Have we answered Joppa's question respectfully?
Fully. I may have been a little angry about it. And I'm sorry, Joppa. I just get passionate about it. Just like you. Just like you get heated and leave streaming. I get heated and have to kind of be a little angry about it. It's just because we love you and we are passionate. And I never want to be on your bad side. I don't want to be on VR's bad side ever, but this has to be it. If these three things that Drac has listed are not the main three focus, stop it. Stop making mounts. Stop making houses. Stop whatever that is not these three things. Yeah, you hit it on the nail. You just crushed it. Well done. Great journalism.
Hey, occasionally, even I'm right.
I wish your top fives were like this. It'd be so much better.
Dude, crushed it. Well, I wanted to mention too that I think Ben and I may have told us about this before, but we didn't pay attention to it, or we just threw it in the back of our mind or something. Because did you know, Donlos, that there is an Ask Me Anything questions in the official Discord that Savanya actually goes to the devs and tries to get answers for?
As of yesterday, I now know that there is an AMA channel. I probably won't ever ask anything because I trust that they are doing their best because I believe in them. Maybe there are questions that I do want answered, but I don't want to waste their time. I don't want to slow them down by asking questions because everyone already asks enough questions. But please utilize this. If you've got a burning question, please utilize this. But there just has to be a point. It can't just be dungeon when, mounts when, housing when. That's not good. That's not productive. So yeah. I don't know if I am pro this channel or against this channel. I like that they want communication to be open, but I also don't like it because it feels like it's Joppa's chat, right, on a stream.
Yeah, kind of. We're going to monitor this channel and see how it goes, see what questions get answered, what questions don't, and just kind of that'll be an upcoming topic for future reons. Hey, maybe if enough people ask questions in the AMA and enough things get answered, maybe we can make an AMA bumper.
A little AMA segment? Okay.
Maybe. Quick shout out to Benonai, who one of the last questions in the AMA section is from him. And he wants to know when we can get the 2 moons back in the sky.
Please bring that old sky back. We already had the sky. It was perfect. And bring it back.
The Pantheon sky was one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen in any MMO. The sunset over Throne Fast was chef's kiss. It was perfect. I would sit on the dumb side of the hill and watch it happen. It was amazing.
And it was the stars. The stars were so beautiful. And now they're just shitty. They're just little puffy blurs.
Puffy blurs.
Shit.
Yep, that's pretty much what it is.
Them. I hate the sky.
It looks like somebody took a phone camera and took a picture of the sky.
It's so bad.
Pasted it up there.
I just don't get it.
I know that's not what happened, but that's what it looks like.
I know. It's just so crazy that we had the perfect sky with 2 moons in it, and now we can't get that back, and we've been replaced with just absolute trash.
Yeah,
Just absolute trash. I'm sorry, that looks terrible. It looks terrible.
Yeah, it's not great.
2 moons in the sky. Bring back Theric from his board game.
Well, there was also a post about macros.
Well, you would know this, Drac. You're the macro king.
Goodness. So actually, it's funny because that actually inspired me. I was like, well, because this guy's like, why do we have macros in the game? If, you know, we don't want to condone boxing and we don't want to, like, the game's supposed to be hard. Why do we have this really advanced macro system where we can just macro all the stuff together? All your skills and spells and just a one button macro. Well, I was like, well, that can't be possible. So I was like, well, I'm just going to test it out. So I went and looked at how you do it, and I went and found all the commands, and I figured out all the pauses, and I put together the wizard macro. And guess what? You can absolutely macro the crap out of the wizard class. I can totally one button the wizard class all day long. The only thing I can't do is interrupt spells. That's the only thing I can't do. So
really, you got 2 buttons.
2 buttons. I'm a 2-button class with the wizard macro.
I agree with this. I'm glad that someone said get them out. We should. I know a lot of people want them, but if that's what it means, that we've got such an extensive system that we can just do nothing, why do you even play the game? You're not playing a game.
Yeah, why do we have to add to it, right? We have Naga mouses, we have programmable mouses, we have third-party macros. If you're really a person that wants to macro and or you're boxing, you don't need in-game systems to do this. You can do this outside the game.
Yes.
So why
we have the technology?
Why do we have to put this in the game? I don't know. It seems like it kind of encourages it. And it doesn't seem like that's what we want to do. This isn't ESO, right? This isn't Final Fantasy 14, where we have this super complex system of spells that have to be in the right order all the time. That was never the vision for Pantheon. We were supposed to do our skills and then react to what the mob was doing. And then based off what it did, we were supposed to make decisions about what we wanted to do. And we were supposed to have choices. And those choices were supposed to be meaningful. And it's just not the case.
Your macro's meaningful to me, Drac.
Yeah. You know what's meaningful to me, Daimlos, is...
What's that?
Do you know if you are exploiting?
Oh, I definitely am one of those filthy fucking exploiters that ruin games for everybody.
I just like... This cracks me up. There's a post in the Discord that's asking the devs how they're supposed to know if they're exploiting or not. Because
do you know how you know? If you have to go into a Discord post and ask, how do you know if you're exploiting?
I think that's a real good clue.
That's how you know.
Like this is like a conversation with my 9-year-old, right? Like, who's obviously playing the system, right? Can't we be a little bit adult? If you're duping gold in any way whatsoever, you're exploiting. If the mob's not hitting you and you're doing damage to the mob, then you're exploiting it. If you have 15 million buffs on your buff bar, then you're exploiting.
That's the same buff over and over and over.
That's exploiting. It doesn't matter what buff it is. Any buff, then you're exploiting. And not to say that, like, if you find a bug, then great, report it. But if you sit there for 5 days and use that bug to get all your characters ahead, then that's exploiting. This isn't rocket science. Most of us are veteran MMO players. We know what exploiting looks like. It's not that difficult. We can see it and we can say that's exploiting. To detail every single thing that VR doesn't want you to do and say that's exploiting, that is so ridiculous and stupid. Quit being ridiculous, quit being a jerk, and just don't exploit. We know what it is. We know what it is not. Come on.
Be a better gamer.
Jeez.
From the SGL Action News Desk, this is MMO News, featuring your anchors, Drac and Daimlos.
All right. Just a quick update, super quick, Daimlos.
Please, I need a reminder of what is happening next week.
So next week, no rewind. But also, I'm going to be streaming all week. So Mrs. Drac is out of town, and Drac's going to be streaming. We're going to be starting Monday with EverQuest TLP. That's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's go. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that's going to be some Dune Awakening. We're going to be hitting it. We're going to be getting the spice. All the spice belong to us. So make sure you tune in. A lot of streaming this week. I'll see you on the streams.
5,
Drac, I'm so disappointed in you.
4,
Luckily, every week I dominate this list and just destroy Daimlos.
3,
I thought you would just tuck your head between,
No
your butt
way!
cheeks.
No, my list is
And
amazing.
It's not at all.
2,
Oh, already your list is the worst. Your list is the worst.
1.
All right, Daimlos, another banger this week. You got some
Oh.
good top fives.
Well, since this is our last rewind in May, I thought, as this is the month of my birth, what could be better than to talk about one of my favorite things, one of the thing that I am, which is the villain. Let's see who the top 5 video game villains of all time are. How do you feel about that, Drac?
I know who the top 5 villains are on the Rewind podcast for sure.
Daimlos, and Daimlos.
I'm cinching a ranch dressing list for that one.
It's true. It's so true. But I love villains. Everyone loves a good villain. Everyone loves to love a good villain. So let's see who some of our favorite villains are. Drac, what's your number 5?
Number 5, one of the first games that I got heavily involved in, one of the first video games that you might say I binged, was the original Final Fantasy. And I just love that game so much because we spent I've told this story before, but we spent 2 months getting past the first part and, defeating the prince or whatever and getting back to the castle. And we're like, yeah, we beat the game. And then it was no, that's just the intro. And
Whoops.
so when I beat Final Fantasy with my friend for the very Final Fantasy 1 for the very first time, it was such a huge moment. And Garland, the main bad guy in Final Fantasy 1, he was such a huge, it was a build up. It was all the build up to it. And I just loved every second of it. And I was just so angry at him by the time we got there that we were just like, let's take him down. He's got to go.
Absolutely.
And so it was just an amazing moment. And I loved every second of it. So number 5, Garland.
I can't fault you on this one because as this list continues, Final Fantasy is going to have some of the best villains of all time. So I definitely cannot fault you for this one. It's a great villain. Final Fantasy 1 was great. It started it all. He may not necessarily be the best Final Fantasy villain in my eyes, but he's certainly up there. Maybe if we did a top 5 of all the Final Fantasy villains, maybe he'd be up there. I'd have to think about it for a while, but good choice already, Drax. Great start to your list.
I didn't play all the Final Fantasies. So
Right.
This
I
was
totally get
one
it.
of the only ones that I actually finished.
Don't worry,
So-
we're not going to do a top 5 of Final Fantasy villains because I'm not going to put you through that punishment. But I'm just saying, if I were to make a list, he could be in the top 5.
Nice. Speaking of punishment, what's your number 5?
Drac, since this is your version of the water list where this is your wheelhouse and that should have been your greatest list of all time. Since this is in my wheelhouse, this is going to be the greatest list of 5 villains in video games of all time. So number 5 is, of course, Arthas from Warcraft 3. You have taken a paladin, my favorite class of all time, and you have broken him mentally. You've basically done a Darth Vader to him. You've emperored and Darth Vadered a paladin, and this is where we come to. You seek out the sword, Frostmourne, and change him to something where he thinks he's doing the right thing. He is definitely lawful evil. He feels like he's doing what's right for his people, but he's clearly doing it the wrong way and mostly for his self-gain. He just doesn't realize it before he turns into the bad guy. This character is why I continue to come back to Warcraft 3. How long did Warcraft 3 come out ago? I don't even know. We were playing it, we were in college. It's so good. And this storyline, I don't know if there will ever be another sort of story like this where they've twisted Star Wars into this fantasy and make it any better. That's what gets me going. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it's a real good pick. I almost put Arthas on my list. It was just right there. There's only one problem with this. It's
What's
just
that?
one problem. I'm old enough to remember when you played Warcraft 3 in college. And I'm old enough to remember that you did not play humans or undead.
It's true.
You
It's true.
played the Dirty Elves. And the hero that you used of the Dirty Elves was Sylvana. That was your main character. Yep. So don't be preaching to me about how you always loved Arthas and like he was your main squeeze, because that's not how it went down, people. He is lying to you. He's a dirty liar, and you should vote him as not best top 5 this week because of it.
Listen, just because I like elves and liked the night elf race and everything that they had to offer. I mean, they were like the weakest one of the 4 for a long time. Turns out they're like the strongest now. They've been patched and retweaked, and now they're the best in current Warcraft 3 gameplay. So, but anyway, that's a whole nother side tangent. But that doesn't mean that I can't appreciate a good lawful evil story. Because Arthas speaks to me.
Yep. Speaks to you. Yeah.
I mean, I just re-downloaded it again 4 or 5 months ago and played through the campaign because it's just so good. It's so good. So whatever, Drac. It's fine. It's fine. You can, throw me under the bus of when I was younger. I mean, I was in my 20s. How was I to know better? Now I know. I know.
Whatever.
All right. Hit me with your number 4.
Number 4 is GLaDOS. This is, of course, the computer bad guy from Portal. One of the most interesting and unique games that you will ever play. And the cake is a lie. And I just love this character as a bad guy. I love that she was trying to act friendly to you, but there was always just like this underlying evilness. And as you go along, you're just gradually figuring out that she's like the mastermind of this whole thing. And you're just like, oh my goodness. It's just such a great implementation of a bad guy story arc and just a great way to implement it into the game. So I had to mention it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to try to murder you. I actually looked up in preparation with our huge journalism skills of just in case I missed people, because I didn't want to miss someone that was glaring, right? And this was at the top of many people's list. So good choice. I never played Portal myself, but this sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a good time.
You don't even like puzzle games. What are you doing playing Portal?
It was back when I had reflexes and like first-person shooter skills,
Which
I don't have
really
anymore.
good at.
What?
You did used to be very good.
I was back in my prime, as they say. I was pretty good.
Now you're just a lazy wizard.
Now I'm just a lazy wizard. I press that one button wizard and off we go. What about your number 4, Devlos?
Well, number 4 is we're already hitting a Final Fantasy bad guy. And some people might put this as number 1. But for me, it's just number 4. And that is Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. This character, not necessarily lawful evil. He was injected with alien DNA, and it was not his fault that he was a bad guy. He was just kind of literally born that way. And so this bad guy, though a lot of people love to not even hate Sephiroth, just love to love Sephiroth. Even though he was the bad guy, you still felt for him. You still loved him. Like it really wasn't his fault that he was bad. It's just kind of what he's doing. And so
He wasn't bad. He was just drawn that way.
just misunderstood, right? Yeah, exactly. But his theme song is so unbelievably iconic. That's probably a big reason why he's on this list is that Sephiroth. Yeah, it's just everyone knows that music from this game that everyone literally played. So yeah, I don't need to. It's a villain who needs no introduction. But number 4, Sephiroth, Final Fantasy VII.
I'm sorry. Was this top 5 bad guy theme songs? I forgot what the title of this top 5 is again.
It's just another point proving why it's so good. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, speaking of great bad guy theme songs, what's your number 3?
You know what? Kazakh does not need a theme song. Okay, he's just badass.
You're right. You are right.
Yeah, and forever as the first MMO raid mob that I ever took down, Kazakh, he will be enshrined as the ultimate bad guy in my world. And I love everything about him. I love that he's pure evil. He makes no excuses. He's just like, I'm bad and I don't care. I'm evil. I'm cruel. I torture people. I kill people. I death touch people. Okay. Back up off me. There's nothing good about me. There's no redeemable qualities. I'm just bad. And yeah, I love it. I love myself just pure evil villain. And that's what Kazakh is. He's just mean.
Yep.
Don't cross him.
Yep. Totally agree. Obviously, there's a soft spot in my heart for EQ, but I wish you would play past Velius and get to see the lore of the Thule family in its entirety. Kazakh has a lot of backstory that you probably don't even know.
No, that's all post. That's all.
No, it's not.
That doesn't even count. That's like Star Wars books. Nobody pays any attention to that. Please.
So true.
He's just evil. He's just evil
really
and he hates everybody. That's his backstory, okay? That's it.
Okay, great.
What about your number 4?
Number 3.
What about your number 3?
Our number 3s somewhat align, even though they're from different games. So my number 3 is Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. And Kefka, Final Fantasy VI, which is American Final Fantasy III, which is my favorite Final Fantasy. Kefka is very similar to Kazakh, where he don't give no shits. He is as chaotic evil gets. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. He doesn't care who he has to go through to make what he wants happens. And he's got the most maniacal laugh, even in 16-bit. It's the scariest laugh you've ever seen. And he's just one of the ultimate bad guys. He kind of starts out, he's always in the game. He kind of starts out, you think he could be a good guy. You don't really know. And then it turns out he's the main bad guy. He hates everything. He wants to destroy everything and just rule the world. He's so great. He's such a villain. He's like the evilest of evil villains, just like Kazakh. I think you'd appreciate him if you ever played a Final Fantasy other than 1.
Yeah, I mean, I can get with that. I played a little bit of 3. I just never beat it. So
yeah, well, sorry to spoil the ending for you.
No, I mean
he's
fine.
The main bad guy.
I'm not going back. It's not happening.
You should.
I probably should, but that's not.
Well, speaking of going way back, the way back.
Listen,
what's your number 2?
This is Prime Drac right here. This is Prime Drac because my heyday of video games was StarCraft. Like that's like you want to go back and you want to say what was Drac really good at video games? That was StarCraft. I was really good. I would take on 3 to 4 other people in the dorm versus
that's
just
setting
me.
The bar pretty low.
I mean,
there were a couple of good players in the dorm.
There was a couple of good players, but it wasn't close. Like I would raffle stomp them.
Yep.
Like I was really good. And so
with the Protoss, the worst class race in the game.
I was super good. And my what was the little slugs that had the that shot the little energy balls. What the heck were they called?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was real good at it. And I could manage the little armies. I had the hot buttons. I had the Korean hot button thing going on. Like I had my numpad and I was clicking all the buttons over on the numpad, moving my armies just slightly forward until they'd engage. And, I was doing all the things. But I love the StarCraft story too. I love the single player story. It's so great. And one of the greatest parts of that story was the story of Kerrigan, right? Because she was a ghost. She was part of the human resistance, and she was a sniper, and she would, she was doing her thing. She was along with you for all the human missions, but then she turned and she got you had to leave her behind, and she got infected by the Zerg, and she turned into one of the main bad guys for the Zerg, and in fact the main bad guy for the Zerg. And it's just this great story of, again, a good guy that turns bad, that is then super bad, and you feel bad on the inside because you're like, I liked playing this character, and you had a soft spot for her. And then when she turns bad, you're like, but I don't want to dislike you because we had so many adventures together. So
Absolutely.
it was so good. It was so good. I love that whole story arc.
What do we have? 7 so far? All great. All super great. I'm proud of this list so far. I think we've really outdone ourselves. All these are great games with great bad guys so far.
Real good. What about your number 2?
Number 2, I am shocked. I am absolutely shocked that I am going to be the only person to list this villain, and that is Ganondorf, or /Ganon. It's the same person, but Ganondorf is far more reviewed because he was in the best of the Zelda games, which is let's just say a tie between Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. Yes, I know he was in Wind Waker, but nobody likes that game, so get the fuck out with your Wind Waker bullshit. We're only going to talk about Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. Anyway, Ganondorf is one of the scariest motherfuckers in this game, and you knew he was going to be from the very beginning of the game when you were in Hyrule Castle and you spied in on Ensam for the very first time, and he looked right at you. He knew you were there watching him the whole time, and he knew exactly who you were, and he was going to destroy you because he knew you were going to destroy him if he didn't. And it's so unbelievably good. And then eventually we got him voiced by Matthew Mercer, one of the greatest voice actors of all time. Number 2, Ganon, I guess, from Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, I get this pick. I'm not a Zelda player, though, so there's no way I can put this on my list.
But there are people in our Patreon that are.
Yeah, I know that they're all a bunch of dirty Zelda lovers. So yeah,
so many dirty Zelda lovers out there.
They kind of dropped the ball.
Shocked. I'm shocked, and he's my number 2. So it's just good. All right, Jack. Well, we kind of dropped some beans on the After Dark program last night.
Yeah,
that we already knew.
We already
that
knew
each other's number 1 was going to be the same.
It was an unspoken thing.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You came up with this list, and I was like, "All right, I know exactly what number 1 is going to be."
Yep. There's no question in anybody's brain who the number 1 greatest villain of all time.
Just like there's no question about what the number 1 single player RPG is. Even though our voters got it wrong.
Oh, big time. Big time. And that number 1, Drac, is Darth motherfucking Revan from Knights of the Old Republic. Now, I know what you're going to say. Revan wasn't the bad guy. It was Darth Malik. No, it was not.
Nope. You weren't paying attention.
Exactly.
You weren't reading the dialogue.
Exactly. Listen, now Drac and I, for the very first time, played this game together. We made the choices together.
This was some hot seat co-op action.
Absolutely. And we knew that we were going to be the greatest Jedi of all time. We were going to be kind to everybody. We wanted everyone to love us. We wanted our parties to think we were the greatest White Knight Jedi of all time.
We didn't even let that dumb killer robot be in our group.
Exactly, which I love. That's the best party member of all time, by the way.
Absolutely.
Love you, HK47. Anyway, we got to the point where we found out, and sorry for spoiling this if you've not played the game, when you find out that you are in fact Darth Revan and they have mind wiped you or repaired your brain to think another way that you've forgotten, and it's who cares? That's bullshit. The Jedi duped you. You and I instantly looked at each other. There was a moment where we looked at each other and it was like, okay, we are now evil. Everything we've done up till now is all bullshit. And now we're killing everybody and everything from here on out. And we are the greatest bad guy of all time. It was so good. It was so good. I will never forget that game.
Yep.
I will never forget our time together in that game. And it will forever engrave what makes the greatest game of all time. And it's this. When you get to be the villain, you are the main villain. Hell, it spurred on another series of things like Fable where you make your own decisions and you go from there. And if you're evil, you're evil. But this is different. You were the greatest Darth, maybe of all time, in Revan. You were the most evil. You were the smartest. You were the most strategic. You had the greatest powers to choose from. And we were that person. Oh, so unbelievably good. This is the greatest game.
Maybe we should have seen it coming, but we did not see it coming.
We did not. It was a complete slap to the face.
And we were like, oh, this makes total sense. And that is the best part about the whole thing is we didn't see it coming, but when they told us, it made total sense, which blew my mind. I was like, how can it be right there in front of us the whole time and we didn't see it? We didn't see it. And really,
we're pretty smart. Even though we act dumb and come across dumb and are kind of dumb, we actually are somewhat intelligent. We can pick up on social cues. We can pick up on clues that are being dropped. But we were oblivious because we were too busy playing Pazak, right? Like that was, it distracted us.
+3/-3 card. I'm so good. So good.
Space Blackjack is the best. It was so good.
And the pod races. Remember we used to take turns with the pod races?
Yep.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, such a great game. And the greatest villain of all time. If anyone in the chat right now is like, oh, that was not even close to the guys. You can't be the main bad guy of the game. The fuck you can't. Because we were. We murdered. We killed everybody. It was wonderful. And I loved it.
It was amazing. And our friendship has been forged forever since that moment.
It's true. That's a true statement. So that's why this is the greatest game of all time and the greatest villain of all time. Thank you, Darth Revan. You will forever be the pinnacle of Draconite's friendship. All right. Enough of that. Let's see what the idiots have to say.
Speaking of friendship.
Play the soundtrack. All right, so here's some really terrible lists. Actually, a lot of them are pretty good because villains are great, right? But some of them are just, better than others, right? So let's see what we got here. So Dwimble is saying he's got the best list. We'll hit that first. He's got some nice ones in here, but let's see what he's got. So number 5 is Diablo from Diablo. Drac, you're going to have to fill me in on why was Diablo so great?
I mean,
Diablo the villain, not Diablo the game, even though that's kind of the same
thing. So I mostly played Diablo 1. Okay. That was the one that I have the most experience with.
Most people like Diablo
2. The most popular one. I don't know. It strayed too far from 1 for me. I liked 1 the best. Probably just because that was one of the first video games I ever played. He was just really hard in 1. It was a lot of build up. It was a good story. It just doesn't make the cut for me for greatest villain.
Top 5 villains of all times, and you're coming up with Satan, I guess. Well, it's not good. It's not good. Is it Satan? Is Diablo Satan?
That's kind of how it was originally phrased. I think they've kind of backed off that a little bit.
Okay, cool. Well,
I'm not a
name-
Diablo expert. You in
Fair.
the chat, you in the comments. Look, this is not my big J journalism right here.
Right. We don't know. I know you come
we
to
did
us
not
to know
research
literally
Diablo
everything.
before making this top
Yeah.
five.
No, I mean, this was Dwimble just coming up with some bullshit. We're not going to research Dwimble's bullshit. So anyway, moving on. Number 4, Darth Malik. Okay.
Loser.
Yeah,
Loser.
big time loser. You are not ever going to be anywhere close to Darth Revan. Why would you even pick this? He was in both KOTOR and SWOTOR. He was a little bitch in KOTOR, and that's why you're a little bitch, Dwimble, because you picked little bitch villains like Darth Malik. Anyway, moving on. Number 3, my favorite bad guy in EQ, Mayong Mistmore. So, of course, I can't say bad about this.
I mean,
Mayong Mistmore's-
whatever.
I
Kazakh
know.
could just harm Death Touch him and he'd be done. And it's over.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I think it'd be a little more than that. He can take a death touch, no problem. I mean, it's just a bunch of damage. It's not like and heroes in EverQuest didn't have the hit points.
In the
that Mayong
real
has.
version of EQ, he's not even a character.
Oh,
He's
you're right.
just a
You're right.
he's just a
some
myth.
slouch in a castle.
Yeah, he's just this idea that's floating around in the sky.
Yeah, well, later on he becomes way better than Khazak-Thul, than ranch dressing Khazak-Thul. Number 2, Bowser. Bowser, I don't know. I am one of those people that in the Mario universe, there's this theory that all the characters in Mario are just a troupe of actors, right? And they're just playing out a show. And so that Bowser in quote unquote real life is actually all their friends and they're nice guys. That's how they have like Mario Tennis and Mario, all the fun games where they're all playing together, right? Because they're actually, in fact, all friends. So I don't feel like Bowser is a bad guy. He's actually just everyone's friend. But I guess, I mean, he's iconic. He's the Mario bad guy. He was the original bad guy in all the Mario games. So I guess that has something to say about that. But I just,
How
I
can
don't
he be a top 5 villain when he loses as much as he loses? Like he
Yeah.
loses all the friggin' time.
Every time.
Yeah, he loses in every castle. It seems like he loses a princess. So I just, yeah,
all of his children are losers.
Yeah,
he's a loser.
like it's just losing upon
Yeah.
losing upon losing. Like he's not very ferocious.
Yeah.
No.
Well, speaking of not ferocious, here's number 1, Handsome Jack from Borderlands. Dwimble sent us a bunch of shit that is the history of Handsome Jack. Guess what, Dwimble? Not watching it. Your list sucks. You're the worst. You're the worst list here.
Don't bring your first person shooter to
Yeah,
our
get
MMO
out.
podcast.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me right now?
Get out. Just get out. I just can't stand you anymore, Dwimble. I'm just kidding. I love you. You've got a couple good ones in here, but for the most part, Handsome Jack. I even had to look up who Handsome Jack is. I didn't even know who that was. Anyway, okay, moving on. Let's do Zip, because Archbishops is a little bit of maybe a little homage to his favorite villain of the Static Group Live people. Anyway, number 5 is Dagoth from Morrowind, a game that I can't stand any of those Oblivion fucking games. I'm sorry. I know that's sacrilege to say as someone who plays console RPGs.
Oh, you're getting a lot of hate right now.
No, it's fine. I don't care. Morrowind sucked. Oblivion sucked. I hate those first-person games where you just have both your hands in the screen. They're stupid. I don't like them. They're just not good. They're not good games. Maybe they were good games and they probably had good stories, but I don't care enough because they bored me to tears. Anyway, did you like Dagoth? Did you even like Morrowind?
Nah, I liked Oblivion better, but as you say, the problem with those games is they get real repetitive. Like,
Yeah.
especially Oblivion, like that thing, like, because it started randomly spawning enemies, and so in different places, and so you just saw the same enemy over and over and over again, and you're just like, I'm killing it for the 936th time.
Yep.
Ugh.
Fireball. Stupid. Anyway, number 4, Darth Malik, little baby bitch Darth Malik. Never could hold a candle to
Why
Darth
is everyone
Revan ever.
picking the Apprentice when you have the
Stupid.
Sith Lord?
When you are the Sith Lord.
Yeah.
You are the Sith Lord. So stupid. just terrible. Just terrible. And then we got Bowser again. That's fine. I'm fine with Bowser. He's a big loser. But then number 2, Sephiroth. Like I told you, Jack, Sephiroth is a big deal. Everyone loved Final Fantasy VII. Everyone loves Sephiroth. If you played Final Fantasy VII, he has to be in, at minimum, your top 5 of bad guys of all time. He was that good. And then number 1, I love this pick. I absolutely love this pick. Raphael from Baldur's Gate 3. Raphael might be my favorite character in Baldur's Gate 3, other than Gale the Snail. I love Gale the Snail. He's the wizard, by the way, Drac. If I know you've never played Baldur's Gate 3, but Gale is the wizard and he's super good. I love him. But Raphael, he's the demon. He's like the manipulator. He's like trying to make deals with you, and he's your friend, and he's the sleazy bad guy that everyone loves, but he's also super, super fucking powerful and the main guy in the very end of it. One of the greatest battles in all of Baldur's Gate 3 is when you go against Raphael. So sorry to spoil that if you've not done that, other than you, Jack, because I know you're never going to play it. But this is a great 1-2, Zip. Like you started off so strong, and then your last 3 were just Anyway, moving on. Let's look at Archbishops. First off, number 5, Edwin Van Cleef from World of Warcraft. Well, you named a World of Warcraft bad guy. It wasn't even Arthas. What were you thinking?
Where was this bad guy at?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Nope. He's probably the head orc of... Well, no, he's not.
No.
He's not. Is he the head Scourge? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Terrible list already. Number 4, though, Sir Lucan Delaire is a great bad guy. He's in Freeport at the very beginning. He turns undead. He was just in the most recent update of EverQuest. He was one of the bad guys in the most recent expansion. So good choice here. I like Sir Lucan Delaire.
Van Cleef was the boss for Dead Mines, which I know we've done that dungeon, but I don't remember the boss being special. He looks like a bandit.
Yeah, well, terrible list, Archbishops.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Number 3, Exor from Super Mario RPG. Are you kidding? This is the game that goes on your top 5 worst, best villains of all time? What? That little baby game didn't hold a candle to Paper Mario. Paper Mario, light me up in the chat, because I know so
goodness.
many.
I forgot about you and Nathan Napalm and Paper Mario versus Super Mario RPG. I forgot all about this. I forgot all about it.
It's a little baby bitch game, and Paper Mario is way better. All the versions of, even the shitty versions of Paper Mario, were better than Super Mario RPG. All right, get this shit out. But on to number 2, great. Bishop Ladja from Dragon Quest V. Great game, great story, great bad guy. Good pick, Archbishops. But let's hit this number 1. Number 1. Drac, I need you to prepare for trouble and make it double. To unite all peoples within our nation, to denounce the evils of truth and love, to stretch our reach to the stars above. Jesse, James, blast off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight. Meowth! That's right!
That was impressive, sir.
Thank you. I kind of messed a little bit of it up, but who cares? It's still funny. Jesse and James are great. Great Pokemon bad guys. I mean, they were around for literally 900 episodes of Pokemon. They had a little bit of a break where they put in other new Team Rocket members, but ultimately, Jesse and James, they were in Pokemon Yellow. So yes, this does count. They were in a video game, even though they weren't in Red and Blue. They were in Yellow, and it counts as a bad guy. But I mean, Giovanni was the head of Team Rocket, so why wouldn't that be the best bad guys? But these are 2 of the most charismatic bad guys. I loved it. I love it. Oh, great choice, Archbishops. That's just because you placated to my favorite game of all time. Well, I guess favorite Pokemon game of all time. I just love Pokemon. It's not my favorite game because KOTOR is my favorite game. But you know,
sucking
how I love
up to
Pokemon.
the judges absolutely works, people. Okay,
Absolutely works. If you want to suck up to me, I will make sure that your list is number one. And it was. So
outside of
even
myself.
though all the other four are just, I mean, Bishop Ladja and Sir Lucan Delay are great, but the other two are just absolute trash. And so, but number one, Jesse James, love it. Great job, Archbishops. You win for the Patreons. And Drac, we're both winners this week. We have great lists. We know our bad guys.
You know, I think we probably would have tied, except for you lied about, you know, your love for your early Arthas.
I
Your
didn't
forever
say
love.
early.
Yeah,
I
you
never said anything about early.
Yeah, no,
Get outta here.
it was a lie of omission.
Go listen to it again. I said nothing about being early in love with Arthas. I just said that now that Paladin is my favorite class, I can understand why this was one of the greatest villains of all time.
Oh, Sylvana, I love you.
Before you leave, we've one final word. Before you've forgotten all that you've heard, there is a moment evergreen. Stay here a while and listen to me.
All right, Damas, another
We did it.
3-hour rewind. I hope you have fun editing this one.
Oh, God. It's like, I told Marks the other day, he's like, what are you doing with your free time now? It's like, editing the fucking rewind.
That's what we do. It's a full-time freaking job over
It's
here.
unbelievable. We say a lot of dumb shit and it needs to be cut out because our journalism needs to be at the maximum amount that it can possibly be. But I told Marks it probably takes me about anywhere from 2 to 2.5 times whatever our recording session is or whatever the final product is. If it's an hour, it took me 2.5 hours to edit. If it's last week's episode where it's an hour 40 something, I'm probably doing it for 4.5 hours. It's unbelievable. It just takes a long time because I have to listen to it multiple times, right? I can't just listen to it once and cut. It doesn't work that way. I have to make sure the cut works and sounds good. Yeah, it just takes a long time. So can't wait to edit this one too.
It's a labor of love. And yeah, we love Pantheon. We love the rewind. And thank you so much for listening every single week. Make sure you give us some comments. Give us a little love.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
MMO Hot Girl Summer. Let's go. See you on the streams.
Bye, everybody.